Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to my channel. Today is, today is Tuesday, and I think it's November 4th. It's Tuesday evening. And, well, this video that I'm doing today is about the number 93 song, Are You Ready? By Pacific Gas and Electric. And it's on the Billboard year in Hot 100 singles for 1970. Now, when I was looking at the list, the last song I did was Ma Belle Amie by a group from the Netherlands. And Ma Belle Amie, My Beautiful Friend, is number 81 on the Billboard list of 1970 hot hits at the end of the year. And then I was like, okay, so then after that, number 82, we have The Bells by the Originals. No, okay, it's nice, but no. Then we have Yellow River, and that's by Christie. Didn't do that one. And on, all the way down to, let's see, when I got to Tom Jones. In Without Love, There Is Nothing. Nothing at all without love. Without love, I have nothing. Without love, I have nothing, nothing at all. And then it goes, dawn, dawn, dawn of heaven. He raises his voice up higher, and it's like amazing. Wonderful singer, and it is a beautiful song. But then below that, and that's number 92, and then number 93 is Are You Ready? And that's a completely different style to Tom Jones. Are you ready to sit on the throne? Anyway, my voice just doesn't do it justice to that kind of style of music, but it is certainly a lot of fun to listen to, and it's got such a great beat that I just want to get up and dance, to the beat. And the voices are awesome. So that's the song that I'm working on today in this video, number 93, Are You Ready? By Pacific Gas and Electric. It's like, Pacific Gas and Electric. Well, if you're from California, you're like, wait a minute, that's the name of the company for our energy here in California, Pacific Gas and Electric. Well, yeah, well, in the 1970, it probably was too. But this is what they called themselves when they did this song. So, and the song is Are You Ready? And it was written by the leader of the band, the singer, Charlie Allen, and this other guy named John Hill, who eventually, I think he also kind of managed the band for a while. And it's performed by these guys, the Pacific Gas and Electric. And the song is, well, the original version, it's almost 5 minutes long. So there's a version there that's like 3 minutes. And that version is not the original. It's still good, but the original is a lot longer than that. And it was released in April 22nd, 1970. By May, the song was hitting the charts big time, all over the place. Like by the time June came along, it was number 14 in the Billboard Hot 100s at that point in time of that year. This is end of the year, it's 93. And then it was 49 in the R&B, Rhythm and Blues chart. And so it was pretty, well accepted. So they're featuring their Their song, Are You Ready? Which is from an album that is also called Are You Ready, that they made. They recorded this album in 1970. And the genre is rock, and the style is blues rock. And blues rock is a music genre that blends, according to Wikipedia, that blends the soulful, improvisational elements of blues with the amplified, energetic sound of rock music. I mean, I had to read it because I could never say all of that with my own words. I'm still learning here, but that's what this genre is. It's blues rock genre. And it typically, features electric guitars, bass, drums, and sometimes keyboard and harmonica, which is very cool. Now, what I didn't know is that this genre originated in the mid 1960s, so it's a fairly new genre, and it's awesome. And this song is that genre. So the musicians are, so there's this guy called Brent Block, who's the bassist, Frank Cook, who does the drums, Glenn Schwartz is on lead guitar, Tom Marshall is rhythm guitar, and Charlie Allen, of course, is lead vocals. On top of that, kind of like a lot with The Letter by Joe Cocker, he's got these backup vocals, which just kind of fills the song, with great energy, depth in sounds, layered sounds. And that's what these guys also, they are featuring the vocals of the Blackberries. Now, when I saw that, I was like, the vocals of the Blackberries, who are they? So I looked it up. And the Blackberries was an American female vocal trio formed in the 1970s. And they were, backing vocals for groups, for various musicians, as well as songwriters and different recording projects that came their way. They performed with various acts, including, Pacific Gas and Electric with this song, and Humble Pie, another band, and then with Ringo Starr from the Beatles when he was doing some of his own recording, and with Pink Floyd, just to name a few, okay? Now, the Blackberries recorded for Motown West Coast. So there was the Motown that it was, Motown had opened up some offices in LA, and they called it Motown West Coast. And, they worked for this Motown West Coast, and they also did a lot of work for A&M Records. And over the time that they were doing this, there were many women, because they're female vocalists. There were many women who were in this trio. It was not always the same people, but in this song, the Blackberries are Billy Barnum, Vanette Fields, and Clyde King. And let me tell you, you put the headphones and you listen to this song and the arrangement and just the fullness of the sound with the voices and everything else that's going on with the instrumentation, you're going to love it, aside from the fact that it's just a great upbeat tempo. So the band, they were from LA. Charlie Allen was from Los Angeles, and and this band started this band, I think it was in 1967, and 1968. Let me see here, 1967, and they did an album called Get It On in early 1968. And, it was not that successful, but following their performance at the Miami Pop Festival back in 1968, they were kind of discovered by some guy at Columbia Records, and signed them up to record with Columbia. So their first album for Columbia was called Pacific Gas and Electric, and this was done in 1969. But their big hit came in 1970 with Are You Ready? The album Are You Ready? And especially with the song that made it to the billboards, Are You Ready? And that's in 1970. So very interesting history going on there. Now, that year, 1970, was crazy. There was a lot going on. One of the band members was in an accident. They had to replace him. Charlie Allen, who was the leader of the band, had a vision for his band, and the reactions to Are You Ready were really very positive in Europe. So he wanted to do a European tour, but meanwhile, while they got that going and got the connections they needed, they were touring here in the United States. And one of the interesting things about this band is that they were a mixed racial band. They were like black guys and white guys playing, and then you had the women, but they were all black women doing the backup vocals, the chorus backup vocals, for this song. And sometimes this created problems when they were doing performances in various areas. Like, for example, when they did a performance in Raleigh, North Carolina, there was some rioting and gunfire, and it was like a problem, right? It kind of sucked. And then they also, there's some footage of a performance that they did at the Kentucky Federal Narcotics Farm. There's some footage that exists of that performance, and they've used part of this footage in various music videos, from what I understand, and this is according to Wikipedia. Now, during all of this recording and working with music, and Charlie Allen working really hard to make new music, write new songs, he had that vision that he wanted the band to go to tour Europe. They were touring the US big time, but their manager it wasn't happening. So they changed manager. He changed the manager for the band, and his manager, which this manager turned out to be a musician, and his manager knew a guy in London who had connections and organized musicians on tours in Europe. And so that's how they eventually started touring. But by then they changed their name from Pacific Gas and Electric to just PG&E because apparently Pacific Gas and Electric did not like this band using the name of their energy company of California. So they, later on they recorded under the PG&E. And so that's what they did. They toured in Europe. They were all over the place. Let's see here. I have some notes here where they went. They were just everywhere. Let's see. Okay, so they opened for Pink Floyd in the Olympic Stadium in Amsterdam. Okay. And they were, because this agent was in London, and he definitely had connections. So they opened for Pink Floyd, and to open for Pink Floyd, you had to be really good. They just weren't going to let just anybody come along and open for them, right? And they also did concerts at the Olympic Stadium in West Berlin. They did concerts in venues and festivals in Germany, Belgium, Switzerland, Italy, to name a few places. I'm sure there's a lot more than that, but this is the information that I'm getting from Wikipedia. So it was intense. Their final album, the name, let's see. Okay, so eventually, after touring, they came back because Charlie Allen, the leader of the band, was sick. He was getting really sick, so he went back to LA. His doctors told him that he needed to rest and detox and just, recuperate. And so that's when the band broke up. And this was like, I think it was like 1973 or something like that. And so 1972, maybe it was earlier, 1972. It's like, a couple of years after Are You Ready of 1970. So, and everybody went their separate ways. Now, Charlie Allen, eventually, once he recuperated, he did one more album, but he did this album. He had some music that he wanted to record, and he did the album. And the musicians were musicians from the recording studio. They were not his band. He didn't have a band anymore, but he went ahead and did that last album, which I don't think. Let me see. Okay, in the studio with musicians. It was the Dunhill label, 1973, when that happened, and he used the name Pacific Gas and Electric, starring Charlie Allen, and that was the last album he did. And then let's see, he died at 48 years old in 1990. So that is the story of this band, and specifically this song. Now, I'm going to read the lyrics. They're really beautiful. They're pretty good. But really, what's really good is the music, right? I mean, the lyrics are just like, they're cool. But, it helps if you have really cool music to go with it, too. So then the lyrics kind of are awesome. So it starts with an intro, and it goes, "There's rumors of war, men dying and women crying." So here we go again with the war theme. It's 1970, Vietnam War is big deal. And so it's going to come up. And I think this is the third or fourth song that I'm doing from this 1970 end of the year songs in the Billboard. And this is number 93, and it's a war theme too. So, and this is Charlie Allen who's writing this. So I think he's evoking the inspiration that comes from when you're confronted with such a horrible thing as a war, and how you can deal with it. So this is how it starts. There's rumors of war, men dying and women crying. If you breathe air, you'll die. Perhaps you wonder the reason why. But wait, don't you worry. A new day is dawning. We'll catch the sun and away we'll fly. This pretty much sums up how all of us, we were all feeling, we all felt that maybe this war in Vietnam would be our last war, because we had just gone through this incredible movement of anti-war, and that we were just like so hopeful that our government would stop going to war on, and a lot of like truths were coming out about this Vietnam War. The United States did not win the war, and we were there for a long time, and many people were killed, many men, soldiers were killed. So why were we there, right? And us young folks of that period, we knew that, we knew something was up. So then this goes to the next part, which is the chorus. It says, "Are you ready to sit by his throne? Are you ready not to be alone? Someone's coming to take you home, and if you're ready, then he'll carry you home." Now, so we'll watch the sun and away we'll fly, right? A new day is dawning. We'll watch the sun in a new way, and away we'll fly. And then the chorus is like, "Are you ready?" to sit by his throne. In other words, to take Jesus and God into your heart. I think that's what they're saying, right? Because his throne, and the H is capitalized. And that's what you do when you're talking about God. So are you ready not to be alone? Someone's coming to take you home. Someone's coming. So he does, who's coming? We don't know. Someone's coming to take you home, but someone's going to save us, right? That's kind of like the idea. And if you're ready, then he'll carry you home, again with a capital H, that he'll carry you home. And then, are you ready? Are you ready? And by this time, the blackberries are singing nice and strong. And if you have the headphones, you can hear the vocalization, the harmonies of these women singing so clearly. It's just beautiful. And it's all in this upbeat. Are you ready? Okay. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Okay. Now then it goes on, and he says, or the voice of the singer says, people say that he won't come, and I don't know what say you, but if he should, would you be the one? I've got a little question I'd like to ask you. Are you ready to sit by his throne? Are you ready not to be alone? Someone's coming to take you home, and if you're ready, then he'll carry you home. And he keeps putting the he, making, when you think, well, he's definitely like talking about God or Jesus, right? The second coming of Christ or whatever. And he's putting that in capital letters. And then it goes again. Are you ready? Are you ready? The next stanza says, brothers and sisters, I have many stumbling along to do their thing. Now this is kind of weird. Let me see. Brothers and sisters, I have many stumbling along to do their thing. Oh, stumbling along. So brothers and sisters, I have many stumbling along to do their thing. Love is a song. It's better than any. It's better for music. It's easy to sing. It's really cool. And he's doing this really fast. Brothers and sisters, I have many stumbling along to do their thing. Love is a song. It's better than any. It's better for music. It's easy to sing. Now, of course, I'm having problems just reading it. I'd have to sing it. Oh my goodness, you'd have to practice it a lot. And then he goes, are you ready to sit by his throne? Are you ready not to be alone? Someone's coming to take you home. And if you're ready, then he'll carry you home. And then that's when we have a break. And there's like a lead guitar and the voices, but mostly the lead guitar, like an instrumental break going on. And it's wonderful. I don't even know how to describe it. Because I don't remember it right now, but I remember it's long and it's really good. And it's the guitar leading. It's a lead guitar. And I call it the lead guitar interval, I guess. So are you ready? And then it goes, are you ready to sit by his throne? Are you ready not to be alone? Someone's coming to take you home. And if you're ready, then he'll carry you home. So it's almost like saying, if you believe, I think the he could just mean having that faith, having that illusion that things are going to get better, and you're ready to kind of put your trust in that. That's kind of like the take I would take, or the take I take, because it just makes sense to me, And are you ready to sit by his throne? I mean, I think that's just it's not literal. It's not like you're actually going to sit on his throne. I think it could mean that like his throne representing that strength of unity of all of us coming together, perhaps, and not to be alone in the fight for peace and a better world where we can just not have wars anymore, right? Someone's coming to take us home. We're kind of hoping that someone with some power and leadership can do it. And we're ready to be taken home. And if you're a vet who's fought a war and you want to come home and be in peace and be happy, it's a tough thing to come back home. I mean, spiritually in your head, because you're so traumatized from the war. And Vietnam was a very traumatic war for from all the young men that went there. So that's how I kind of read it, And then, of course, it finishes with repetitive. Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready? You sound real good. Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. It goes on. And then he goes, gonna be sunshine again. Yes, I'm ready. And the flowers growing. Yes, I'm ready. Because war it blocks out the sun with the smoke and the bombs and the blood and the dirt and the mud. It's just, nasty stuff. Really. So, gonna be sunshine again and the flowers growing, children playing. Gonna be all right. You've got to be ready. I know you're ready. Say it out loud one more time. Say it out loud. I say it out loud. Say it out loud. Sounds so good now. So it's almost like let's just go back to having just normal, beautiful lives where we can flourish as humans. And that's how I see it. And that's it. Those are the lyrics to this song. It's like, it's very easy to just think of it in terms of like, oh, he's talking about God and Jesus, the return of Jesus, and the Christian point of view, I guess you could say. But I think it's more than that. I think it's he's probably using these Christian themes because it kind of sounds like gospel with the blackberry singing in the background. So there's like that spiritual thing going on, which is really cool. It's gospel-y and plus like Melanie on lay down candles in the rain. She's got that gospel group backing her up. Also, because it's these messages, these feelings of overcoming the trauma of war are reaching out for us, the strength of the spirit, the strength of our spirit to get us through. I think this is really what I think is going on. That's how I like to think about it. So you guys, there it is. And that is why I decided to do this song, even though I love Tom Jones. Without love, there is nothing at all. And I might end up doing the video on Tom Jones and that song specifically. He's wonderful. He's got an amazing voice. But for now, we're sticking to this one. And the theme here, too, that's really very important. And it's a very deep part of the American psyche of the 1970s, of 1970, right at the, after the Summer of Love in San Francisco, 67, and then 69 Woodstock, where we had all of this hope, and then coming into 1970, still hoping that, and people, young people were protesting all the time against war, not only here in the States, it was just everywhere, in Europe, in Australia. So, that's pretty much it. And what time is it? Oh my goodness, it's midnight. So I guess it's Wednesday now. Anyway, that is the song I chose to do this week. And I hope it kind of helps you kind of to stop and think a little bit about why we go to wars and what does it mean, and how it affected this music at this time period. For all of the creative, musicians are kind of like poets. People who write songs are like, they're poets. Bob Dylan was a poet. He got an award for his, not so much for the music, but for the poetry in his lyrics. So, yeah. And the poet always will question reality when it needs to be questioned. I mean, should we really be doing this? Why are we doing this, right? Okay, guys, so that's it on a very sad note. But it's good to be sad sometimes, and to think about these kind of things and pray that, do the best that we can to avoid these things happening again, repeating, even though after Vietnam, it didn't stop, unfortunately, and it's still going on. It's like we can't seem to go through existing without fighting each other. We can't seem to be able to do that, and it's very sad, because all of us really, what we really want is to live in peace, but somehow we don't seem to get that, and I don't know why. Okay, guys, well, thank you for visiting my channel. I hope you by listening to this video, you able to kind of sit back and ponder and meditate a little bit on these sort of things. Though life is so busy, I know, but it's still beautiful doing these videos, even though I'm feeling like this right now. I really loved it. I loved the music, all of it. I loved the whole part of this music and what it took for the people involved, the musicians, in their lives, and the chaos in that life, because being in a band and doing tours is not an easy life. It's a very tough life. So they go through all these things, and then there's this one song that peaks out, and it's like a classic, right? It's a classic because we can still listen to it today, and it means, and it has so much sense. And my intention is to, through the lyrics, bring even more depth to the meaning of why Charlie Allen, gave us this song, and who died so young at age 48. All right, guys. Love you so much. Thank you so much for visiting. Peace, love, and understanding, and take good care. Until next time. Bye-bye.